Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, I'm Bree, and for me, true crime isn't just entertainment. My Pawpaw Peanut was murdered, and his case remains unsolved to this day. That's why on this channel, we focus on the victims, their stories, and making sure they're never forgotten. There are murders that shock a community, and then there are murders that make people wonder if something much bigger was hiding beneath the surface all along. Because in Biloxi, Mississippi in 1987, one of the city's most respected couples would be found murdered inside their own home. Nothing had been stolen. There were no signs of forced entry, and for years, nobody could explain who wanted them dead. Until investigators uncovered a trail that led to someone no one suspected. Not a stranger, not a career criminal, but someone who smiled with the family, attended the funerals, and helped carry the caskets. In the late 1980s, Biloxi looked like a postcard. Tourists came for the beaches, seafood restaurants, and casinos that were beginning to transform the Gulf Coast. But behind the scenes, whispers of corruption, organized crime, and backroom deals had circulated for years. And right in the middle of Biloxi's social and political circles were Vincent and Margaret Sherry. Friends describe Margaret as outspoken, passionate, and fearless. She had served on the Biloxi City Council and had ambitions of becoming mayor. People admired her determination. Others thought she was too outspoken, but everyone knew Margaret Sherry. Her husband, Vincent, was equally respected. A retired Air Force colonel and circuit judge, he had spent much of his life serving both his country and his community. Together, they appeared to have built a good life. But appearances could be deceiving, because according to recordings, investigators would later uncover Judge Sherry had spoken about receiving threats in the months before his death. He never revealed who was making them, and nobody realized just how serious those threats truly were. September 14th, 1987. The Sherry's home on Hickory Hill Circle was unusually quiet. Phone calls weren't being returned, and friends became concerned. And 2 days later, Vincent's law partner, Pete Halat Jr., entered the home. Inside, he made a horrifying discovery. Judge Sherry was slumped in the den, and Margaret lay dead in the bedroom. Both had been shot multiple times at close range. Vincent had been shot 3 times in the face, and Margaret had been shot 4 times in the head. The same .22 caliber pistol had been used in both murders.
Judge Vincent Sherry and his wife Margaret, a former Biloxi City Councilwoman and potential candidate for mayor, were shot to death inside their home. Their bodies were found 2 days later.
And investigators immediately noticed something strange. Nothing had been taken. Vincent's wallet remained untouched. Margaret's purse was still there, and jewelry was still inside the house. Whoever entered that home hadn't come to steal. They had come to kill. Then investigators found something chilling. Near Vincent's body were tiny pieces of foam. Investigators believed the foam had come from a homemade silencer attached to the murder weapon, meaning the shots may have been muffled. Vincent may have been killed without anyone hearing a thing, and Margaret, only a few rooms away, may have not even known what had happened until the killer entered her bedroom. Everything about the crime scene suggested planning, precision, patience. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong. It looked like an execution. Rumors spread quickly. Margaret had spent years in politics. Politics creates enemies. Some people wondered if she crossed the wrong person. Others believed Judge Sherry may have angered someone powerful. Whispers of corruption floated through Biloxi, but investigators had little to work with. Months turned into years, and years turned into nearly a decade, and still there were no arrests, no answers, no justice. That was until investigators discovered something unexpected. Phone records. More than 300 calls between the law office Vincent once shared with Pete Halat and Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola. Inside Angola prison sat Kirksey McCord Nix Jr., a convicted murderer serving life without parole for a killing committed in 1972. But prison hadn't stopped him. Authorities discovered he was allegedly operating a massive Lonely Hearts scam from behind bars. Advertisements placed in magazines targeted gay men looking for companionship. Victims were manipulated into fake relationships and drained of money through fabricated emergencies and elaborate lies. Millions of dollars allegedly flowed through the operation, and investigators discovered that some of the scheme had connections to Pete Halat's law office. As they followed the money, investigators uncovered allegations that funds had disappeared, and according to prosecutors, Pete Halat shifted the blame, not toward himself, but toward his own law partner, Judge Vincent Sherry. And in the criminal world surrounding Kirksey Nix, that accusation carried deadly consequences. Authorities believe Nix ordered a hit, and eventually investigators began connecting names that many people in Mississippi had heard whispered before: the Dixie Mafia. Prosecutors alleged that strip club owner Mike Gillage Jr. helped arrange the murders. A Texas hitman named Thomas Leslie Holcomb was recruited to carry out the killings, and another associate allegedly supplied the weapon before it made its way into Holcomb's hands. On September 14, 1987, Vincent Sherry was the intended target, but Margaret was killed too, not because she had done anything wrong, not because anybody wanted revenge against her, but because she was there, and because she could identify what had happened. For years, the Sherry family waited for answers. Their children waited for justice, and slowly witness testimony, deals, and evidence began revealing what prosecutors believed had happened. And the revelation stunned Biloxi, because Pete Halat, the law partner, the close friend, the man who discovered the bodies, the man who comforted the family, the man who attended the funerals, was accused of helping set the entire conspiracy into motion. And by then, Pete Halat had become mayor of Biloxi. The betrayal shocked the city. Eventually, Thomas Leslie Holcomb was convicted for the murders. Pete Halat was convicted on conspiracy charges. Others connected to the plot were also brought to justice. But conviction don't erase betrayal. And maybe the most haunting part of this story isn't how Vincent and Margaret Sherry died. It's who they trusted. Because evil didn't come crashing through a window. It sat beside them, shook their hands, shared meals with them, and later stood among the mourners pretending to grieve. Vincent and Margaret Sherry became far more than victims. Long before her life was stolen, Margaret dedicated herself to public service and education, and today her legacy lives through the Margaret Sherry Memorial Library. Thousands of people have walked through its doors. Children have learned to read there. Students have studied there. Families have gathered there. And while many people may never know the tragedy behind the name on the building, it stands as a reminder that Margaret Sherry was more than a victim. She was a wife, a mother, a public servant, a woman whose impact on Biloxi could never be erased. Because murder may take a life, but it doesn't always erase a legacy. And nearly 4 decades later, Vincent and Margaret Sherry are remembered not because of the darkness that ended their lives, but because of the lives they lived. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching my video and hearing Vincent and Margaret's story. It means so much to me. So until next time, please remember, the world is a better place with you in it.